Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, the High Guy Jacobs, and today we're taking a look at something that people have been asking me to redefine for a long time, the refinery. The reason why I've been asked to do this is because we've had this now for a decent amount of time. As you can see, I'm a level 7 refinery here, which means that we've had a decent amount of time to refine a decent amount of materials, a decent amount of equipment, and turn that into smelting and smithing equipment to give us some decent squad equipment. But what does it all mean? What am I looking for? What do the buffs mean and how valuable are they? And all this kind of stuff. The questions have finally been coming to the surface and people really want to know the answers. So we're going to dive into the refinery. We're going to dig deep and we're going to take a look at exactly what it is the refinery does, how it should be used, auction house, all that kind of stuff to really clear out any kind of questions that you might have about the refinery and what stats you want and all that kind of stuff. So first and foremost, what is the refinery? The refinery is the place where you're going to take your ore, your common ore, your rare ore, or your precious ore, and refine it into fire-forged alloys. These fire-forged alloys you can then turn around and smith into equipment. Okay, but let's start with the ore. How do you get ore? Well, first and foremost, you're going to get daily ore depending on the level of your refinery. As you can see right now, I'm getting 13. I'm going to get 13 of these common ore every single day. I can buy 5 rare ore with 50 gems apiece. So for 250 gems every day, you can get 5 rare ore. The only place to get precious ore from, however, is the refinement pass and the refining contest. Now, both of these packs, I will tell you, are worth the $5. First off, for $5 a month, you end up getting 90 precious ore. You end up getting 150 high efficiency machine oils to help you with the process. You end up getting a bunch of resources and you end up getting some gems. You also get this end up stuff here, which is great, the 50% bonus. So I end up rating 15 high carbon steel or fire forged alloy, pardon me. I end up rating 15 instead of 10. You get the extra smelting vats in advance. You get a second raid queue, the auto feature. So for the $5 a month, it's worth it. And then if you look at the $5 a week that you're getting here, you're getting 60 precious ores, 24 of the rare ores, and a bunch. Excuse me. And a bunch of the things that come with it, the energy cans and the smoke grenades. These aren't near as important. I mean, they're great, whatever, but the resources are great, and then the precious ores are great. Because here's the thing. What fire-forged alloy can I make from my ore? Well, the green will give you more likely than not green and blue, right? Common and rare fire-forged alloys, though it can give you elite and legendaries. Though it can give you elite and legendary as well. The rare ore will provide you with blues, so rare fire-forged alloys, elite fire-forged alloys, and legendary fire-forged alloys. And then the precious ore will provide you with rare and elite. So it's really, the purple will give you the most amount of elite, which is kind of what you need, the elite and the legendary. Because once you look at the equipment, let's just look at this real quick. So people ask me, okay, what am I looking for? Very simple. Gold equipment. If you look at the purples are crap, right? 0.5, 0.5, you're starting at 0.8. So a purple is starting at a little bit less than half, and it only comes with 1 additional specialized attributes, whereas legendaries come with 3. So the rare or the elites are totally useless. The rares are totally useless. The commons are totally useless. The only ones you're ever going to put on is legendaries. If you have elites, just get rid of them. They're not doing you anything benefit, and there's no value to upgrading them. Okay? Just get rid of elites. I'll talk a lot about that anyways. But here's the thing. Once you understand that you're only looking at legendaries, all we really give a crap about are the legendary fire-forged alloys. Because don't get me wrong. Yes, technically speaking, if I turn around here and I use one of these, I have a 5% chance to get a legendary off of a green, which is fantastic. Okay? Especially when you compare that to a 0% chance. But here's the problem. It's not really a 5% chance. I've been testing this my entire time. I have forged a lot, and the numbers are not the same, okay? I come over here, for example, it says you have a 27% chance. 30% of these are not going to be legendaries. I'm not going to get 15 legendaries out of this. I'll get probably 10 legendaries out of this, maybe 8 legendaries out of this, but chances are I won't get 15. And we'll see it yourself. Like, we'll do the forging yourself. I've got 48, and I don't think we're going to get 15. I'd be surprised if we got 15. But you start to see that these numbers here, they're close, but they're not exact. And so the Fireforged Legendary Alloys is really what we want to get as much as we can to guarantee the legendary equipment. But then you're going to ask me a couple of things about this, right? Because we've already talked about how you smith. Because all we're going to do is we're going to refine this ore. It takes 3 hours to refine that ore into Fireforged Alloys, and you're going to collect it. What we didn't talk about, though, is plundering. Because here's the thing. If you leave these, they are able to be plundered by the enemy. I can come over here, for example, and I can plunder these. I can raid these, and I can raid them for 15 total Fireforged Alloys. And it can be raided 3 times, so that's 45 coming off of here. That brings it down to like 70 that you're actually collecting instead, right? 60% almost, 70% of what it actually is, which is brutal. But the auto function means that it only stays here for 15 minutes before it's automatically collected and new ores are refined if you're online. So the auto function really is quite important, hence why the $5 is a good investment. Because otherwise your ore can sit there until you collect it, which is effectively indefinitely, right? So plundering is something you'll do 5 times a day. Find your only, and I suggest only looking for legendary ores. Like I said, legendaries are the only ones that matter. So plunder your legendary ores every day. Get your 5 collections. And 5 times 75, or 5 times 15 is 75. So that's almost 1 full piece every day that you're getting for free. Get your refining contest and then just refine your equipment and smith it from there. But the question is, what are we going to smith? Because you've got a choice, right? What job do I pick? Well, it doesn't really matter. All the job does is increases your proficiency. So if I come over here, for example, and I start to smith, if I smith within my job, I have a 27.8% chance to spit out a legendary. If I smith outside of my job, it drops to 10%. So the job is important. It increases that proficiency on how often you're going to get legendaries. And you can switch this job for free once a month, once every 30 days. Or for 3,000 gems, you can switch early. Now, I just switched because I was working on helmets, so I don't need to work on that anymore. I'm working on vests now. So the next thing that I'm going to be starting to build out is my vests. And we're going to forge a bunch of these. And we're going to forge a bunch of these so you can see what it is. Because I'm hoping to get some that I can upgrade on my things, on my equipment as it is. But we're going to talk about equipment and what you're actually focusing on. Because once we understand that it's going to spit out a random one of these with the same stats, these basic attributes, right? These basic attributes for the carbon fiber bulletproof vest will always be the same. It's never going to spit out something besides basic attack damage taken and counter damage taken for the carbon fiber bulletproof vest. Okay? Which means once you understand that, you can kind of pick which one you're looking for. Now, if you're a whale and you have the capability to choose and buy your way, that's fine. But for the most part, you're just going to play with what you're lucky enough to spit out. You don't care about the weighted bulletproof vest because, of course, it's oil gathering and steel gathering speed. It's only going to go on your cars. And yes, you'll equip it on your cars. And obviously, you don't care about the camouflage vest because we don't care about zombie and zombie kill experience. It's never been a problem. But any of the other ones, if you're lucky enough to spit out a life monitoring vest, right, with squad attack and defense, which isn't great, but it comes with 2 or 3 attributes that are specialized to what you're looking for, that's actually a really good vest. Even if it has squad attack and defense, if it's got 3 attributes that are, like for me, I'm an infantry main, so if it has 3 specialized attributes that are effective for infantry, that's a good vest, right? You got to keep that in mind. You got to keep in mind where your pay structure is. If you're a whale and you can choose whichever one you want, then by all means, pick the one you want and buy what you need. But if you're like most of us and have to build it, if you're lucky enough to even spit out something like the, like I said, the carbon fiber bulletproof vest, and it comes with 3 stats that are effective or 2 stats that are effective for what you're looking for, you're awesome. But now you're going to ask me, what do you mean specialized attributes? 2, 3, what does that even mean? Well, when you forge something, it'll spit out a legendary, or it'll spit out one of these at random. Okay. And then that piece of armament, if it's a legendary, will have 3 of these randomly spit out too. So it'll spit out 3 randomized specialized attributes. So you can have infantry squad attack, gathering speed, and squad load. You could have all 3 of those on one piece, which wouldn't make it very valuable. However, you could also have it spit out infantry squad damage reduction, squad counter damage, which would be a fantastic set if you're an infantry main. See what I'm saying? So there's tons of variety on what those things will spit out. But ideally, all that you're looking for is one with at least 2 active attributes. You want 2 active specialized attributes. Yes, you can do it with 1, but it's not as good. I could put this one, for example, I could equip this on my infantry to get an infantry squad attack, but then I'm missing out on 2.5 or 4.5% ranged squad defense when I equip it to my ranged instead. Okay? But people are going to ask, well, doesn't this mean that if I have this equipped, I'm getting the infantry squad attack too? No. The difference between equipment and everything else is that this is only effective, these hones and attributes are only effective on the attributes that you have them equipped onto. So, for example, infantry, this guy here, this plus 20 Hawkeye PPSH is providing my infantry with squad attack, my infantry with squad's basic attack damage, my infantry with squad damage, and my infantry with squad counter damage. Yes, I'm getting squad load if I'm farming with infantry, but nobody farms with infantry. This does not mean that my riders are benefiting from the squad counter damage and the squad basic attack damage. Only my infantry troops are benefiting from these stats. Okay? So once we understand that the specialized attributes are only for the ones that you have it equipped to, we start to see that you really want to have at least 2. And if one of those attributes is squad damage or squad damage reduction, you're winning. That's the best value you can get. Now, people are going to ask me, well, why is that the best value? Because let's take a look at something. Let's say hypothetically, I forge something that has a 7% max red infantry squad attack. Most of us are going to go, oh, that's awesome. 7% infantry squad attack, right? That's great. Hold on. I come look at my headquarters. I come look at my buffs, and I realize I already have 256% infantry squad attack. Does 7% infantry squad attack really equate to that much? Well, what is 7% of 256? Let's do some quick maths, right? 256.4 times by 7%. Oh, no. Sorry. 256.4 divided by 7 is 36. So how much is 256.4? 7% of that is 17. But I'm not actually adding 17. I'm only adding 7 onto that. I don't understand math. My point is it's not very much. Adding 7% here is not very much. Right? Adding 7 total percent. It's not 7% of 256. It's adding 7 more percent. So this will bring this from 256 to 263. Right? So that increase is not very much. However, if I add, right, if I come over here and I'm able to add 5% or 5.5% infantry squad damage, it's much, much larger. Number one, attack and defense, there's lots of avenues to build up attack and defense. There's lots of ways to get attack and defense. There are not very many ways to build up damage or damage reduction. Number two, once you understand the calculations on how the damage numbers are calculated, you realize that squad damage and squad damage reduction are multipliers, whereas attack and defense are additive. So what do I mean by that? Well, it's going to take all of your attack and defense, like it says, adds it all together. We have 264, and that's going to be the number that it multiplies onto its damage on the attack numbers to get it from there. But it's adding all of that damage, that attack numbers together to get the damage numbers. Once you have that damage number, it's multiplied by the squad damage multiplier, right? So the infantry squad damage, you're increasing by 5%, right? 5.5%. Which means that it takes the overall damage numbers already and then multiplies that by the overall squad damage numbers that you have, which increases that number drastically. So increasing infantry squad damage, rider squad damage, range squad damage, or infantry squad damage reduction, rider squad damage reduction, range squad damage reduction will have far more influence than attack and defense. Okay? Than attack and defense. Obviously, then gathering speed, damage to zombies, zombie experience, gathering bonus, and squad load. Right? Obviously more than those. So your main damage and damage reduction is your main focus. Outside of that, squad's basic attack damage and counter damage are both quite valuable. And the reason I say this is because once you understand how the damage numbers are done, this for iced tea. Once you understand how the damage numbers are done and where damage can be done, again, 10.5% based on your basic attack damage is more valuable than 7% attack overall, right? 10.5% squad counter damage is going to be far more beneficial, far more impactful than 7%, you still have to stir it, than 7% attack, okay? And once you understand how these numbers are done, how the actual damage is done, in my opinion, counter damage is more valuable. I like counter damage more. Because counter damage is whenever you're being dealt damage, whereas basic attack damage is only the single target that you're dealing damage to. So if you're being swarmed in the field, you're doing basic attack damage to one target, but counter damage to as many are targeting you. Right? So if you're being swarmed by 5, you're doing counter damage to 5 and only squad basic attack damage to 1. So I'm a much bigger fan of squad counter damage than I am to basic attack damage. But that's just me. Now, if you can get a piece, for example, like if I was an infantry, because I'm an infantry main and I'm a garrison main, if I could get a piece that's infantry squad damage reduction, and squad counter damage, that's my ideal piece. I am sitting pretty on that. I will abuse that all day. But as you can see, I'm not a whale. I spend a little bit, but not very much. Most of the stuff I've gotten just by buying the $5 packs. Okay? And look at what I've been able to achieve. Infantry squad damage, 2.5%. Squad counter damage, 4.3%. Plus 20, giving me that. Squad basic attack damage, 4.3%. Infantry squad damage, 2.3%. Plus 20. 2.1% infantry squad damage, 5.3% squad counter damage, plus 20. And then this will be my weakest one that I can get rid of because it's only got infantry squad attack and damage reduction. So I'd like damage reduction and say squad counter damage or damage itself. And it's only plus 17. But this has been able to amass 2.1 might on my destroyers and been able for me to do fairly well. And that's only off of 2 basic attributes. I look at this one, for example, range squad defense, 4.3%, which is great, but I'm not getting this on my ranged. I would have to equip this on my ranged here to get that buff, which doesn't make any sense because it's better situated for infantry. Now you're going to ask me, but can't you just change the specialized attributes? And the correct response is no. You cannot change them. You can make them stronger, but you cannot change them. There is a way to increase them. And I'm going to smith here first so we can hopefully get some stuff that we can smelt to give you an idea of what we're talking about. Okay? So let's do some smithing. And this shouldn't take too long because they added the auto smith function. So we'll actually be able to get to see this. But greens don't provide legendaries at all. So this is literally all just fodder. This is going to go into your bag and you're going to dismantle it. And all this stuff is literally meant to dismantle. Any of the blues, purples, and greens are literally meant to dismantle. You build them just to dismantle them. So we're going to do that. We're going to build all these. I don't even think we got a blue out of this entire... Oh, we got a blue. Look at that. We got 1 blue. 3 blues. Right? And accordingly, we're supposed to have a 12%. So, I mean, yeah, 86% chance, but 12%. So let's take a look at this. From 18... we're supposed to have 50% be blue almost. So 50%. So we should have at least 9 blues. And 1%, 5%. We should have at least one purple. We should have at least one purple. Or very close to one purple. If we don't get one purple, it's right. Hey, we got a gold, 1%. But it's got nothing. Gathering speed, rider squad attack, and rider squad defense. Nothing. Hey, we got a gold. But again, as you saw when it popped up, it wasn't valuable. It's not worth anything. That's what most of them will be. Right? Most of them will be nothings. Gathering speed, range squad attack, infantry squad attack, nothing. Get rid of that one. Dismantle it. But Chris, can't you try to sell it? Yeah, technically you could, but you won't get anything for it. Infantry, raider, infantry, zombies, ranged, nothing. So that's 2 golds. Let's see what those numbers are. Because I think these are 5%. So I think we're over our numbers for gold on this one. Depending. If we had 40 of these, then we should have had 2 golds. At least. Statistically, anyways. 26, 37, 38, 39. Yeah, so 2 golds makes sense. Makes sense for that average. Yeah, 5%. But we should see, and this is a correct, again, correct me if I'm wrong, about 30%. Well, here, we'll do this. We got 30%. I should get at least 1 gold. Let's see what happens. No gold. No gold. So this one better be a gold. No gold. So 33%. We didn't get it using the buffs. Okay. So now we've got 45. And we've got about a 30%. So on this auto smithing, we should get 15, about 14 golds. Let's see what we get. Let's see how many golds we get. We should get 14 if the numbers are correct. Infantry zombie ranged on a gathering speed, so it's irrelevant. Ranged squad load infantry, again, irrelevant, so that'll get dismantled as well. Ranged infantry zombies, that'll get dismantled as well. Damage dealt to zombies infantry range, that'll get dismantled as well. Damage dealt to zombies infantry range, that'll get dismantled as well. Infantry ranged. But it's only squad attack and defense, so it'll probably get dismantled as well. Zombie infantry get dismantled as well. Infantry ranged gathering get dismantled as well. You'll see most of these will get dismantled. Zombies infantry gathering bonus get dismantled as well. Infantry zombie rider dismantled as well. Oh, well, they're doing pretty good. Rider range, gathering speed, dismantled. Riders, zombies, infantry, dismantled. Squad defense, attack, and zombies. So we didn't get our 15 or 14 that we needed. So we're a little bit low on the numbers. Right? Because we needed at least 14 or 15. So we're low on those numbers. And none of them are valuable. All of them are going to get dismantled. Okay? And I'll show you how to dismantle them in a second. But here's the biggest thing. So once we've gone ahead and smithed them all, now there's 2 ways to modify them. Okay? There's 2 ways to modify our equipment. You can either enhance it, or you can smelt onto it. Okay? And if we're talking smelting, let's see if we can actually smelt anything. I don't think I found anything that I can smelt. Damage dealt to zombies. Oh, I can. We can show you a couple of these. Okay? So, what does smelting do? Well, what you're going to do is, like I said, you can't change the attributes, the specialized attributes. You cannot change them. So this squad load will always be squad load. This damage dealt to zombies will always be damage dealt to zombies. However, what I can do is I can smelt another material. So let's do this 3.8% right here. Because this is one that we would smelt down anyways. We would dismantle. Okay, so let's do this one. And let's confirm it. So it's going to select this one as the option. And what you'll see is we have a 2.6, which is what it currently is, and a 3.8 potential, which is what this one is. So when I click smelt, this will spit out a new hone value between 2.6 and 3.8. Chances are it's going to be on the lower end of things. I anticipate closer to like 2.8, 2.9, but it could go up as high as 3.8. So let's see what happens when we smelt. Now, just to remember, when we smelt, it uses this equipment and destroys it. Okay, so we're basically melting this one into this one to make the hone better. Okay, so we're destroying this one to increase this value. We smelt it, 2.9, right? We go from 2.8 to 2.9. Very, very low. So the problem with smelting is that you really have to smelt in small steps to increase it, which makes infantry squad damage and things like that far more expensive. Okay, because chances are the only way to get infantry squad damage is to either hone or just smith it yourself or buy the hone to upgrade it yourself. Okay, but it's very, very, very time consuming. The other option in order to upgrade stuff, first off, let's go ahead and make sure that we get rid of all these ones. This one we can delete. This one we can delete. This one we can dismantle. This one we can dismantle. We've got nothing that has got gathering bonus on it. This we can dismantle. This we can dismantle. That one too. This one too. Damage dealt to zombies is irrelevant. Gathering bonus 1.8% isn't enough. So we can dismantle all of these as well and unlock them. Now, first off, let me just double check my bag so that I can... Rider squad damage, infantry squad attack. None of that matters. Just the gathering bonus. Okay. We'll talk about gathering bonus here in a second. We'll talk about cars here in a second. So we just went over how to smelt. So you saw the smelting opportunities, right? So if we wanted to smelt something, you have to sacrifice the other one. The other option to enhancing stuff, or is to enhance stuff. But in order to enhance stuff, you actually have to have the parts for it. And you're going to use these dismantled things, right? These dismantled parts that we're going to actually dismantle here. Rider squad damage, we're going to look at selling those ones still because the rider squad damage 3% is still pretty good. 2.6% is still pretty good. So we're going to look at selling those. But these ones we're going to dismantle. So we're going to go here. We're going to dismantle all of them and we're going to get our 5,430. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go to your parts, right? The ones that I'm working on, I'm still working on leveling this one up. And we're going to enhance it using those parts, right? And all that's going to do is increase the basic attributes. So enhancing will increase the basic attributes. Smelting will increase the specialized attributes. Okay? But that's the only way that we can currently... What's this? Where did that even come from? Where did that even come from? Where did that even come from? I wasn't selling anything. But where did that come from? I thought I dismantled all my shit. Whatever, we're dismantling. It doesn't matter. Where did that even come from? Whatever, dismantled. And then we're really close to getting this one up to plus 20 as well. Okay? But folks, this is really what it comes down to for the refinery. Okay? Last thing we're going to talk about very quickly is the auction house. Because, truth be told, you can turn around and sell stuff. And I'm going to sell stuff right now and I'm going to talk a little bit about it. But this is why I don't try to sell the really cheap stuff, because it costs money. Okay? Let's say I want to sell this camouflage vest. The camouflage vest is rider squad damage 2.6% on a vest. So let's go look and let's see what we would price this at. Legendary rider squad damage. Now let's filter for vests with legendary rider squad damage. And let's just see what we got. Rider squad attack, rider squad damage, squad basic attack damage. So this is a 3-stat item. 35,000 gold. It's pretty expensive. Rider squad damage, range squad damage reduction. That's a lot. That's still pretty. That's an expensive one for only 1 stat because this will only be used to hone or to smelt. Rider squad attack, rider squad damage for 2,000. Rider squad damage, rider squad defense. Remember, we got a rider squad damage 2.6. So we're still higher than these ones, even though these have 2 stats. Even though it has 2 stats. So here's one. 1,000 for 2.1. 1,000 for 2.2. 1,000 for 2. 1,000 for 2.3. But that one's going 1,000 for 3 for a range squad damage. So we're probably looking at less than that. Let's sell this. This one here, rider squad damage. Let's sell this for 750. Not 7,500, 750. Now here's the problem. Let me explain the problem with the auction house. First off, you're going to get 3 of these listing fees every single day. These listing tickets, pardon me, every week. So you can technically sell these for free 3 times a week, which isn't a problem. But if you don't sell it on that free listing, it costs 50 gold to sell an item. 10 gold just to post it, and 50 gold if you sell, plus the handling fee. So if I sell this for 750, I'm only getting 690 because of the handling fee. But that's okay. We're going to sell it anyway. And we're going to sell this other one as well. And we're going to sell this one for a little bit less. We can sell this one because it's a little bit less. Rider Squad 2.6. We can sell this one at 600. But look at what I'm saying. I don't have any listing fees, so it's 50 gold. It's going to be 100 gold to sell this. And if it takes me numerous times to sell, I'm out of money. See what I'm saying? It costs gold to sell. So I'm not a fan of selling crappy items in the auction house. Only good stuff. Only good stuff. Good stuff that'll actually sell. Don't try to sell the 2 attack or 2 defense. Just dismantle them. They're not good. Okay? Like I said, attack and defense are useless. You're really looking for infantry, or you're really looking for squad damage reduction, basic attack damage, counter damage. Those are your kind of big 4 that you want on your equipment. Okay? But that's it. That's going to wrap it up for the refinery, for redefining it, for going through all the details, for going through even the auction house. How you want to sell stuff is the exact same way. Go check it out first, then make an educated guess on what you want to put it on. If you've got multiple, go see if there's any multiples on the market first and then price it accordingly. Undercut if you want to try to get an easy sale. Yada, yada, yada. Do what you need to do from there. But that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I hope you learned a little bit about it. If you still have questions, throw them in the comment section. That's what it's for. If you haven't already, like the video, like the channel, subscribe to the channel, fill out the notification bell, comment down below. All the things you can do for free would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And if you'd like to help out financially, click the join button, become a member, help out the community that way as well. Other than that, folks, love, peace, chicken grease, and until next time, stay lifted.